Hi everyone, this is Jonathan from J5 Music. Sorry I haven't posted a video on the Syntakt for a while. I've been really busy at work and stuff. But I just want to catch up with what's going on in the Syntakt and just to give more of these videos. So this video is just basically going to be a video on the two new machines that are within the Syntakt. The first one that we're going to look at is Swarm, so let's just dive straight into it. It is a digital engine, so what that means is we can select 1 to 8, so these are the digital machines, and to get to the sound we can either double tap on this the synth menu page or press function and machine. Use the up and down arrows to navigate to the synth engines or machines, and then just go down to Swarm and press yes. Now there is a total of 8 parameters. You've also got the filter page, the amp page, another amp page, and then 2 LFOs for this machine. So we'll just start up in the top left hand corner and work its way through. So in the top left we have tune. This offsets the incoming note value. This parameter is a bipolar. The parameter is bipolar. A setting of 0 leaves the pitch unchanged. So as it's in its normal state now, the pitch is unchanged. So that means whatever note you play on the keyboard, whether it be C, D, E, F, G, A, B or C again, it will be at that pitch. That's going down 2 octaves. You can hold function and then just twist it, and that does it an octave apart. So that's the tune function. Next up is the det and mix. So the det means detune, and this sets the amount of detuning of the 6 detuned oscillators in relation to the fundamental oscillator. And the mix, this sets the level of the detuned oscillators in relation to the fundamental oscillator. So if we just give that a quick listen, we'll just take that down to 0 and the mix down to 0. So the fundamental oscillator, which sounds like this. And when we start to add the mix in, this sets the level to detune the oscillators in relation to the original or the fundamental oscillator. So and then if we set the detune amount, that sets that. Moving on to DEC or decay, this sets the length of the decay phase of the machine's internal amp envelope. So if we hear this, if we turn that down, it's next to nothing, and if we turn it all the way up to infinity, that'll be just a sustained note. That will last forever until the power dies. Moving on to NMod. So NMod is the noise modulation. This sets the amount of noise modulation of the detuned oscillators. So as you can hear, it just adds noise modulation. Anim, this is the detune animation. This sets the detune oscillators modulation amount. The detune oscillators are modulated separately in pairs by 3 hidden LFOs running at different rates. I'm not sure what the rates are, but let's just hear how it sounds. moving on to the sub. Sub is the fundamental sub. This detunes the fundamental oscillator down 1 or 2 octaves, but leaves the detuned oscillator pitch unchanged. So if we take that down, what it's basically doing is, if we click that to -1, -2, it's basically going down like that with the tune. So if we just click on that, just do that. Which is same as doing it with this. So you could go down 4 octaves if you wanted to. So that's the sub. And then last but not least is over, which is overdrive, and this sets the gain amount into the digital overdrive. So if we again just sets the overdrive amount. What I'll do now is I'll just quickly do a little bit of a sound design, and we'll see what sounds we can come out with this, just quickly. So that's the Swarm engine. That's what you can do with the Swarm engine. It's got so much possibilities, and it's another, well, it's a great addition to the Syntakt. It is a digital engine, but like I say, you can create so much with this sound just by using the filter, amp, and then your LFOs. You've got 2 LFOs, so you can assign them to almost nearly any parameter. Portamento, you can make some really good stuff out of it. So that is the Swarm engine, and we'll move on to the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select a analog track. So this is a kick drum at the moment, and same before, to select a machine we can either hold down function and press the machine button, or we can just double tap on the synth or the SYN page button. We'll go down to the bottom and under dual VCO it's SY raw. If you just click on yes, and this is what the initial preset sounds like. We have 8 parameters. Again, we have tune, det, level 2, deck 2, wave 1, wave 2, end level, and over. So I'll start off in the top left hand corner. Before I get there though, this is obviously an analog machine, so this is only available on tracks 9 through 12. So yeah, starting up in the top left hand corner, we've got tune. This is oscillator 1's tuning, so this sets the tuning of oscillator 1. Value 0 corresponds to notes C-2 or C2. So C2, depending on what octave you're in, but if you're in the 0 position, which is that one, and you press this button here, that is C2. So what we'll look at next is the next 3 macros, or the next 3 sections to this synth or machine. So what we have is det, level 2, and deck 2. So det is detune. This sets the tuning of oscillator 2 relative to oscillator 1. Lev 2, this sets the level of oscillator 2. And deck 2, this sets the decay time of oscillator 2's level. So if I click on here, we can hear that is 2 octaves below, but if I bring it in to 0, you can hear waveform 1 and waveform 2 sort of phasing in and out of each other. That's how we get that movement. We can also, on this detune, we can hold function, and this sets it to predetermined detuning values. So -7, -12, -16, and -24. So if we just listen to these, oops. That's that. We'll look at now wave 1 and wave 2. So waveform 1 and waveform 2, these select the waveforms of each independent oscillator. So waveform 1 is oscillator 1's waveform selector, and wave 2 is oscillator 2's waveform selector. There are 6 different waveforms for oscillator 1 and 7 different oscillators for oscillator 2. So oscillator 1, we have sine wave, asymmetric sine, triangle, sine saw, saw, and square. So we have, obviously, we'll go back to the start. So we have sine wave, asymmetric sine, triangle, sine saw, and saw, square. And then what you'll notice is they'll start again, but now with a little square at the start. So what this means is every time we press the trigger, it resets, or it starts on the 0 point of the waveform. So waveform 2 has 7 waveforms. It has the exact same, so it has a sine wave, an asymmetric sine, a triangle, sine saw, saw, square wave, and then a ring modulator. So it says in the manual that oscillator 2 modulates or ring modulates oscillator 1 using a square wave. So that is even if level 2 is set to 0. If we turn this up, it adds a sine wave to the sound. So let's just hear that. So as you can hear that's just a sine wave. Now if we ring modulate that sine wave, turn up level 2, this adds a sine wave to the sound. So you can still hear that sine wave. And then if we maybe detune it by 12, that sounds really fat. So that's how we ring modulate waveform 1. Moving on to, if I just set this back, moving on to N level. So this is the noise level. This sets the noise level. So you could even make a nice snare with this if you wanted to. And then over, this is the overdrive. This sets the gain amount into the analog overdrive. So I'll just turn this down a bit. See it coming through there. And that is the SY Raw, the new So that is SY Raw. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I do want to start making more of these and going really into depth with the Syntakt and what it can do. I am going to try and make more and more of these videos. So yeah, I hope you enjoy or have enjoyed these videos. If you do, please just comment or rate it, or if it's all I've missed out, just let me know. And yeah, subscribe. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.